Hello and welcome back to That Is Effin Weird. We got a great episode for today. Couple of just some notes before the show begins. There's been ads on that I've noticed at the beginning of the show. That should not be happening, even through midway through the show. I'm trying to figure out a way to fix that. The reason why we do have ads though is because we need some sort of funding to help the show stay on the air. It's not free to do the podcast, so that's why we decided to put these ads in there. However, we're trying to put them at the very end of the show so you don't even have to listen to them, but still a way to generate some sort of revenue to pay for the show. Also, on top of that, we have also started a Buy Me the Coffee. That will be in the description of the show as well. So if you feel so well, to donate to the show, by all means, go for it. But you do not have to. We're trying to do the show absolutely for free and everything like that. That's why we decided to do some of the ad stuff too. But again, I hate fucking ads. I wish we didn't have to do it. That's why I'm trying to put them at the end of the show. I do apologize if they're happening at the beginning or midway through the show. I'm trying to do it in a way where you don't even hear them or anything like that. But with that being said, you're not here to hear. You're not here to hear. You are here to listen about some effing weird sports this month. And we got another one. This episode may or may not be too terribly long. I mean, obviously you're looking at the time stamp on it and you can decipher it right there, but pre-recording the show, I have no idea how long this is going to last. But you do know what the topic is, and it's Olympic sports. Not only that, but it's weird Olympic sports. These are sports that are no longer part of the Olympics. And I'm not gonna lie, this episode for today, I was kind of struggling to figure out what I was gonna do for this episode, because I was thinking, do I do chess boxing? Not like chest, but chess boxing. That is a thing. And some of these other odd sports, but I didn't get enough time to dive too deep into one of these topics. And again, that stuff was like, it really wasn't pulling my interest. However, Olympic sports, they're always fun to watch every 4 years when they come around. And this is, across all nations, this is everybody. So if you're listening to this in Europe, China, Africa, wherever you are, this is for everybody. This is Olympic sports. We all partake in this, so this is pretty cool. I think so. We're gonna be talking about Olympic sports that were odd. That I don't think any of them. Looking at a few of them, I didn't see anyone that are still around today. But I'm gonna go through this list. The list that we're actually. I'll provide the link to in the description of the actual website, but it's livewaiversports.com. I think I'm pronouncing that right, but nevertheless, we're gonna be going through this list. Not a huge fan of the waterfall and everything like that of top 10 whatever. I'm trying to get really away from that and do some deep dives into specific things. But I feel like this is kind of a safe area where it's not too far off the beaten path. We are talking about the Olympics specifically. So, but with that being said, let's get right into it with the very first one. Live pigeon shooting. Introduced in the 1900s Paris Olympics, this event involved shooting live pigeons released in front of the competitors. It was the only time live animals were used in Olympics, making it one of the most controversial and unusual sports in the Olympics. I don't think this one is unusual by any means, because people go hunting for pheasants, things, duck hunting, at least here in the United States, that's what they do. So to me, I don't feel like this is too odd, but again, I don't think these guys were eating the pigeons afterwards. I do think though, because they do like clay shooting and everything now, which again, you're just shooting a disc. I feel like a pigeon, it would be a little bit more difficult, because a bird is going to do what it wants to do when it's flying, right? If it wants to take one path and then it darts the other way. So I do feel like there's a little bit more skill involved with live pigeon shooting. Now, I have been shotgun shooting with the whole clay discs and everything like that. By no means is that shit easy. It really is hard. But I do feel like the live pigeon one would be a little bit more difficult. But I will say this though too, is that I feel like it is a little bit more fair, or you can judge it in a better way with not live pigeons. Because imagine if, one person had a pigeon that was just darting all over the place, and then the next person to shoot, the pigeon is on a straight trajectory out of the field and everything. Again, it would have been interesting if they had some clips of this, but this was the 1900. I don't think anyone was there with their iPhones or anything like that. So I don't know. I think this one would have been, I'm glad that it's not still a thing, but it would be interesting if they were to do it nowadays with drones, like pick a flight path that, okay, it's going to go out for 20-30 meters to the right, and then it's going to shift to the left, like just make it kind of like, all right, it is still like dodging and weaving, like kind of like maybe like what a bird would do. I don't know if pigeons necessarily do that, but if we would really want to see some like, holy cow, they're really, testing their skills on shooting something that is not just on a single flight path, that would be kind of interesting to see. And I feel like drones could be made fairly cheap nowadays. So yeah, it would be interesting to see if they could do that. Live pigeon shooting though, 1900s, Paris Olympics. Let's get on to the next one. I did take a look at this one prior, and I wish this one was still in the Olympics because I feel like this one would be awesome to watch. Tug of war. Part of the Olympics from the 1900s to the 1920s, tug of war pitted teams against each other in a test of strength and endurance. This sport often was seen at school sporting days. Yes, I can contest to that. Was once a serious Olympic event where countries could enter multiple teams, sometimes leading to nations sweeping all medals in the event. I would love to see this back in the Olympics. Tug of war, are you kidding me? That would be amazing. Just the biggest dudes and chicks from your country just tugging a rope. I think this one would be super interesting and really fun to watch. Because it really is a test of like strength and endurance. I feel like tug of war usually doesn't last too long, but can you imagine if you were to get like an entire NFL football team, like two teams against each other? I'm sure they'd be at it for, I would say, at least a couple of minutes, probably, right? And some people think like, all right, you're just tugging a rope. There really is, I feel like, a technique or a strategy behind tug of war. I've seen a couple of ones, especially, growing up, like I said, this is like a school thing, at least here in the US, where if you can get a cadence or a rhythm down to be like pull, 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 like 1, 2, 3, pull, 1, 2, 3, pull. If you can get like that cadence down and get the other team to essentially just try to dig in and stop your momentum, if you can keep that momentum up, I feel like you could win. I don't know. Maybe I'm not the tug of war master or anything like that, but that one would be really fun to watch other nations, go against each other. I wonder why they took this one out, though. To me, it's not controversial in any sort of way. It does say here that like nations were sweeping all the medals in this event, so maybe they thought like, all right, hey, maybe just this one country just keeps winning every single year. This isn't really fun, so let's just get rid of it. Or because I mean, if you look at injuries and stuff like that, there's downhill skiing. I feel like there's a lot of sports in the Olympics where people can get hurt, so I don't feel like the injuries or anything like that would have anything to do with why the sport necessarily went away. But it really is kind of interesting to see too that the high school or the school sport of just tug of war, it's not just a it's not just a school thing or whatever. It's not just a whatever type of deal. This was a legit sport in the Olympics, so that's really cool to kind of see that it was a thing. Again, I would love to see this one back. I don't know maybe we could all sign a petition, sign a petition to get this tug of war thing back on the road. But yeah, maybe leave me a comment. Well, this would be kind of cool too, because we do have listeners from different countries and everything. if you're listening to this and you're not from the United States, or if you are from the United States, it really doesn't matter which, who would you, if it was a 10-person lineup, who would you put for your tug of war team? That's what I would want to know. I'm probably this episode's going to come out tomorrow, so I think what I'll do is, along with the release of the episode, in our Instagram, I will put who I would put as the top 10 personnel for the United States to do a tug of war with. I think that'd be really fun. I'm gonna scour the internet, and I'm just gonna, I don't know how, I'm not gonna say I don't know how the sport things work, but I'm gonna find some pretty decent people to put on my tug of war team, and yeah, we'll go from there. So keep an eye out for the Instagram 10-person tug of war team from That's Effin Weird. So yeah, if you do have, maybe leave a comment on that then. So that's what we can all do, right? I will put mine on our Instagram. If you want to go check it out to see what I put there, and you want to put like who you'd pit up against the United States, by all means, let's get this thing back on. And again, maybe we can start a petition. Maybe we can get this thing back on, because I don't know if you're interested in it, but I think it'd be pretty fun. Let's keep on going. Solo synchronized swimming. Debuted in the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics, solo synchronized swimming was paradoxical by nature. The sport required a single swimmer to perform a routine to music, judged on both the artistic impression and technical skill, despite the term synchronized implying a group performance. Interesting. I'm not huge into the synchronized swimming scene by any means. Swimming by itself is it is a cardio workout for sure. The fact that, like, just swimming, like the Olympic swimming that they have and everything, I've taken a couple laps in a pool in my days, and it's one of those things where I just have to perform by like holding your breath and swimming around and doing all these things. It looks funny in, like, when you think about it in a way, but I feel like it's one of those misunderstood sports where it is, because I mean, think about it, like you try running in a pool and that shit doesn't work. And if you've ever watched synchronized swimming and how they can all get in sync, and it's that beautiful movement and everything, it's amazing. It really is. And the fact that they look so fluid and they can move so fast with it, I don't know if it's like the other swimmers' momentums that is helping you when you're doing yours as well. I don't know. I don't know that much about synchronized swimming, but maybe that's what kind of helps with it. Solo synchronized swimming, it would have been interesting, because I mean, I might go take a look on the internet too, and to see if I can see any of the 19. You know what? Let's do that right now. Let me see if there's 1984 solo synchronized swimming Olympics. Let's see if synchronized swimming Olympic Los Angeles 1984 Olympics. Let's see here. It does look like on YouTube it looks like there's a few clips from it. I'm gonna try to go ahead. Okay, so yeah, it is showing a solo swimmer by themselves. What I can do is I think I can rip we'll see here. We'll try to pipe we're going to try to pipe the audio
score
of this
as they go to the finals in the duet competition.
Into the episode.
Donna, what the judges are looking for in these figures is that they shall be performed very slowly, high and controlled. Get as much of the body out of the water as possible. And with each section of the figure clearly defined and in
you can see her
uniform
arms
motion.
just like
She
moving
must
fast,
perform
like,
her figure in relatively stationary positions. She's very high out of the water. That's good height. And now she goes into a split position, holds it steady as you go, the other leg coming up, the perfect crane.
Interesting.
One foot joining the other. She must scull very carefully not to splash. And out of the figure in a back layout position.
Tracy Louise, she has 2 competitions to be concerned about here.
Okay, so
In the duet and the solo.
pause real quick. I don't know if we'll pipe that audio into the show or into the episode so you can hear kind of like what the commentator was saying. I'm sure you just heard it right now because we did it. But nevertheless, that is insane. I gotta remember to put this clip in the description as well so you can go to the actual YouTube video. But that is insane. I did not realize, I mean, I'm just listening to the commentator just like you, but you apparently have to stay as still as possible. And this lady has been holding her breath underwater, and she's, perfect, straight up leg, slowly down, does the splits, and then brings the other one up. I'm not gonna lie. I think I know for a fact I could not do that. I can't even do the splits, on the floor or anything like that. I'd rip my crotch. But that takes an insane amount of, dexterity, along with, holding your breath. Holding your breath underwater is not easy. I mean, you sit here and you're like, all right, let's see how long I can hold my breath. Holding your breath above the water, holding your breath just normally, and then underwater are 2 completely different things. So synchronized swimming, or like even the solo swimming, I don't know. Maybe the rules were a little bit different, and maybe it is different with I don't think it's still a thing. Maybe not. But synchronized swimming, I can't imagine, or I don't know if it's the same thing where it's nice and slow. But to me, I feel like the synchronized swimming is more of like, they're upbeat, they're moving around a lot, they're doing all these maneuvers and everything like that kind of fast. This one was completely different. This one was super slow. It almost looked like yoga in water, and that was kind of interesting. I can't do yoga, but nevertheless, solo synchronized swimming. Not sure if it still is there or not. If you know anything about the Olympics and if it's still there, maybe let me know. Going on to the next one, I'm gonna probably pronounce this a little wrong, but skiorging made its only Olympic appearance at the 1982 Winter Olympics in St. Moritz. This sport involves skiers being pulled by horses, dogs, or motor vehicles over snow-covered courses. The version featured in the Olympics had skiers racing behind rideless horses, adding an element of unpredictability and excitement to the event. The one picture that is on the website, it does make it look very interesting indeed. This would definitely take a lot of skill with, handling a horse. Like you being able to handle the horse while still skiing. It would take that, double the brain power, because you're not on top of the horse. There's not that. You're really just worried about the horse at that point, right? You're not doing. No, I'm gonna say not doing too much. You're just trying to balance on the horse, but to balance on skis going through a course, I wish it would have said what the course was like. I don't know if there was jumps. I don't know if it was like S curves. I don't know if it was just a oval or a circle, or I don't know what it was. But it would have been really interesting to watch this live. It kind of sucks that some of these things aren't still around, because I think they'd be super fun to watch. I watched the Olympics kinda, but, and I mean, again, like I said, I don't even know if the solo synchronized swimming is still a thing, but this one definitely is a winter sport, being pulled by horses, dogs, or motor vehicles. Now, the motor vehicle one would be kind of interesting too, to see if it would have evolved from horses to you and another partner, right? So like, you're getting pulled behind a snowmobile or a snow machine, depending on where you live, or even a four-wheeler or a quad, again, depending on where you live. If it was you and essentially another person, one person was on that machine pulling you through the course, and you had to like work together and everything. I think the horse thing is really cool though. It would be fun to kind of see that, but the unpredictability, I wonder if that would have, again, faded away after time. I'm saying if this sport would have continued, if they would have been like, let's just add the motor vehicles. Dogs, I have no idea. Like, I wonder if it's like one of those things where like the Kentucky Derby in the States, the jockeys, I believe they're called, weigh pretty much nothing. They're very small individuals, very lightweight, and I wonder if it would have been the same thing if it was like, all right, no horses, no motor vehicles, we're using dogs, and get like a huge, what's a big dog? Chihuahua. No, I'm just kidding. But I wonder if it would have been something like that, where the skiers try to weigh as light as they can if they had to use dogs, which I mean does make sense. The Iditarod, I mean, that's, I don't know too much about that. I remember in 5th grade we had to do a project about the Iditarod. We had to pick a skier, or not a skier, but a snowshoer, oh my gosh, a racer, and had to do like a little like booklet paper thing on them. I waited till the last minute. I think I failed the project anyways, but they get pulled by dogs. I think it's anywhere from like 10 to 15 dogs. So I wonder if it would have evolved into something like that. Which I guess, I mean, at the end of the day, this is pretty much exactly what that is. It's just rather than a sled, you're just on a pair of skis. That, I mean, yeah, I guess I didn't denote that. Well, no, I said that the sports involved skiers being pulled from horses, dogs, or motor vehicles. So I guess, I mean, it would work. And then if you're on skis, dogs can, really get going. I mean, you're gonna glide across the ground because you have things on your feet. So maybe it would have worked, maybe not. But again, we don't have it. Wish we did. Moving on to the next one. Ballet skiing, or ski ballet, included in the Winter Olympics as a demonstration of sport in the 1988 to 1992 games. Did I say that right? 1988 to 1992. Yep. Games. Ski ballet combined the technicality of gymnastics with the fluidity of skiing. Athletes performed choreographed routines on skis to music, a captivated yet peculiar sight on snowy slopes. Again, I want to check this one out. 1988. Let's see here. 1988. Ski ballet. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Yeah. Sweet. Oh, whoa. Hey. Oh. Nuh-uh. Holy shit. That is insane. If you need to check this out, skiing ballet. Holy cow. That is insane. Okay, so they're going essentially down the slope really. I just watched a YouTube short on it. Go check it out. I'll try to put this one in the description as well. But they are going down the slope, obviously, as you probably predicted, very, very slowly, right? And they're doing flips using their like ski poles, like they're like like they're getting momentum using their skis, like flipping up on them and then like and just like doing a flip and like spinning. It is insane. It is a sight to see. I don't know why this one went away either. I guess not a whole lot of people wanted to watch it. I don't know, but I feel like a lot of the stuff is just a lot of racing and trying to beat world records and in distances beyond like figure skating. Correct me if I'm wrong though, but this one was very very interesting to see. I suggest you go take a look at it. Let's keep on going for these odd Olympic sports. We got plunge for distance, held only once at the 1904 St. Louis Olympics. This event required athletes to dive into a pool and remain motionless for as long as possible while moving forward. The distance covered before coming up for air was measured, combining elements of diving and static apnea. I think I'm saying that. Apnea. I don't know. I can't read. Anyways, so essentially divers, you get one dive. Try to go as far as you can in one single dive, making yourself as aerodynamic as possible. I mean, I guess I can see why this one went away. This one doesn't seem too appealing. Yeah, there's not much more to say about this. It's plunge for distance. Now, if it was plunge for depth, that one might be a little bit more fun to watch, or might a little bit more. That one would definitely be a little bit more dangerous. This one, by no means looks like would be too bad, but I don't know. I don't know how you could. I don't know, because if you had to remain, I think there would be a lot of controversy with this one too, because it would definitely. I mean, I think with the cameras that they have now and in the pools and everything, they could definitely see if swimmers tried to move in any sort of way. So the objective was to remain motionless for as long as possible while moving forward. Now, I wonder if there would be something where swimmers could develop or find a way to continue to move forward while, and I know this is going to sound weird, but like, I wonder if there's a way to continue to move forward while like moving your belly, like, you know, like bringing your tummy in, press it out. But I don't know if that would push you forward necessarily. You know what I'm saying? But again, if you had to remain motionless, and I feel like that's again, that would be so like, all right, what really defines motionless? You know what I mean? And I know there's like the sports that we have now in the Olympics and everything like that. Like there's, you can really, we have the cameras, so we can really see like we can, see if people move, and like when, like, especially when swimmers are going to the end and they have to touch the wall first, you can tell who touched the wall first. And so I'm sure there'd be, cameras following people, high depth, did they move the feet, did they move the hands to help them move forward? If so, okay, you're disqualified. Or if it's like, okay, it's a 1 foot or 1 meter, penalty, whatever it would be. So I don't know. I see why this one kind of lost maybe some interest in everything when, some other water sports, swimming sports took the stage over this one. But I feel like a good substitute for the, rather than doing the distance, would be doing the depth. How far can you swim down or having to come back up? But again, I feel like that one would be a little bit more risky too. And I think it would get to the point where it's like, okay, well, if we're holding these things in a specific location and they don't have the depth that we need, because there's people go fucking deep with this stuff. So I don't know if they would have the resources to do it, and that's why they don't. But yeah, this one is all right. This is I'm not too terribly sad that this one went away. I don't think anyone else is. Equestrian high jump, part of the 1900 Paris Olympics, another one. This event featured horses and riders competing to jump over the highest possible bar. The gold medal was won by some guy from France with a jump of 1.85 meters. Now, I don't ride horses. I don't know if that is very high, but 1.82 meters? Well, okay, well, a meter stick, 3 feet, so that's 6 feet. I'm from the US, so we use the weird system. That's, almost 6. Okay, so especially with a rider on top, that's up there. That is up there. I feel like we still, in a way, have this around. It's not Olympic sport by any means, but I still feel like there's the horses that go over the bars and do their, like, the horse racings and everything like that. I feel like that's still a thing. It may not be an Olympic sport. I mean, it looks like, because I feel like the obstacle courses where they have the bars and everything like that, that's what it is. It's like you follow this path and you're jumping over multiple things. This seems like it's just one and done type of thing. It would be pretty cool to see. Again, I wonder if, like, this still would have stayed relevant, or if they would have kept this in, if it would have turned into okay, let's try to get the lightest person on this horse. Let's get the horse with the longest legs, and, like, genetically engineered horses to be freakishly jumpy, Because, I mean, I'm sure that would have happened. That we're talking over 100 years of perfecting this sport. I'm sure people would have bred horses in a way that they could jump. Take the prize-winning horse, take their their giggly bits, not their giggly bits, but like their you know what I mean, like take their stuff and breed it with other horses that do this thing. Because I feel like that's what people do with animals in show, that they try to get the best genetics, and they do this. You don't see any donkeys doing this stuff, or any Joe Schmo dog from the street, winning things. So it's really interesting. I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to see how it would. Now, do you think we would have surpassed the 2 meter mark? I think we would have by now, 100 years. Because I feel like even like when you look at like sprinting, the fastest person, whatever, like we've gone leaps and bounds. It's freakish how good people are and how well they do now, and just like shattering records. Speaking of that, I just saw another video too of this is an AI robot just beat the world's fastest half marathon. But again, we're talking about a robot and a person, 2 completely different creatures and everything. What do you think about that? Do you think that's fair? Do you think that's like, ooh, cool? Or do you think that's, oh, it's a robot, it's big whoop? I mean, it's no easy feat creating a robot, that can run. I mean, if you've seen any of the General Dynamic videos where they're showing like early testing of robots and everything, like first it was like a wheel with like 4 stick leg type things just rolling around. And then it just like slowly developed, and now and I believe this was in China too, that they had this marathon. But that's insane though, right? We're at the point where robots can run, because it was running for an hour. It was running for an hour, and I think it did an hour and 52 minutes. And it was kind of interesting too, because they showed the robots taking a break, and the guys would I don't think they would take the batteries out. But what they would do, that's what they did. They dumped like ice. There was like a compartment. Think of like your ice tray in your freezer, right? You know how like it holds the ice cubes? It was something like that sat like pressed up against the battery of it. And they just dumped all this ice like right into that tray. And then they shut it. And I'm sure like the ice just melted and just like dripped all over the robot while it was running or whatever. But then they also like WD-40'd the shit out of its legs too before it took off. It was kind of funny to watch too. It was like ning, 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 ning. It greased it all up and it was like ning, 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 and it just took off again. I know I'm just making sound effects and everything like that, but you can kind of get the idea. It was like yeah, it was like the Roadrunner, like meep, meep, you know, it was like kind of like that sort of thing. It was kind of funny to watch, but nevertheless, the equestrian high jump thing, I think it would have been, I don't know, it would be interesting, like maybe, you know, with some of these things, I'm wondering if it was because a lot of nations couldn't partake in it, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there was, I can't remember what nation it was. They sent someone to represent them for like some sort of swimming thing, and the guy didn't even know how to swim, and he just hopped in there and he nearly drowned. And it's just like, with this specific sport, is it something where like, hey, we just don't have the resources, so it's really just like a couple of nations that do this, and it's like, because I mean, if you think about it, you want the Olympics are for every single nation to send their best and brightest, and you know, to do these things. So if you have to have additional resources, also too, maybe the logistics of sending a horse to all these different countries doesn't make sense, you know what I mean? Like, imagine like all these countries around the world shipping horses to just compete and everything. Like, I can see why maybe this one went away. I mean, I don't know if they were necessarily thinking about that at this time period, but I'm just like, you know, thinking out loud. It would make sense, because I mean, like, just shipping the horse, I mean, do you ship it by air? Because I mean, you know, or do you ship it by a boat? And then if the horse gets sick on the way there, it's just another element. I feel like there would be a lot riding on the wellness of the horse. I mean, you can say that about anybody traveling too. I mean, just like traveling to a whole new place, you know, competing, doing all this stuff. It isn't easy, especially all these different locations. There are different altitudes, different environments, whether you're by the sea, if you're in the mountains. So the horses, I'm sure would feel the same effects. So equestrian high jumping, it's not a thing anymore. It's neither here nor there. This one though, I feel like this one should still be in there. It shouldn't be a long one, but it should still be in there. Race walking. Yup. Still part of the modern Olympics. What? Okay, I guess I'm an idiot. Race walking stands out for its distinctive technique requirements. One foot must always appear to be in contact with the ground. This unique trait, or this unique gait, has led to amusing yet highly competitive events where athletes walk distances as long as 50 kilometers at astonishing speeds. I don't know if any of you watched Malcolm in the Middle. That was, I thought, a joke about race walking until I figured out that, like, yes, this is a legit thing. I don't know. Like, apparently it is a thing. I don't ever remember seeing anything like this, you know, in the Olympics. They don't really advertise it if it's still there. 50 kilometers, watching someone walk for 50 kilometers though, it'd be like watching paint dry, you know. I don't know, but I mean, I think it would be fun to watch this sort of race one time around a racetrack, you know, just I know some people that can hustle walking. There are some old ladies that live around me that would crush this sport. I feel like when I'm on the sidewalk too, I have to watch out for them because they will mow me down because they are unstoppable. But yeah, this one would be, I think, a decent one to watch if the races weren't so long, because it just watching people walk, But yeah, race walking. If you haven't seen that episode of Malcolm in the Middle too, I suggest going and watching it. It is pretty good. And they are bringing the show back, if you haven't heard. So I believe it is already on Hulu. Totally disappointed though that Dewey, the That is not the real Dewey. To me, that 100% didn't look like the real Dewey. It isn't the real Dewey. And correct me if I'm wrong to anyone else who watches that show, but they had another child at the end of the show, or like towards the end of the seasons. They had another child, and then on top of that, I feel like it was like the last episode, Lois came in and told Hal that she was pregnant again. So there's 2 kids that are missing in the show. I haven't seen the new one, but the commercials that I've seen do not include those 2. So I don't know how they explain it away, or even if they bring it up. But, you know, I understand like stuff happens or whatever, but they don't explain it, right? But moving on, we're going to go on to the next one. Rope climbing. Featured in the early modern Olympic Games from 1896 to 1932, rope climbing was a test of upper body strength where competitors raced to climb a suspended rope using only their hands. The most notable win was by George Easer, who secured the gold medal in 1904 despite having a wooden leg. Now, did he wear the wooden leg when he climbed? Because if he took it off, he's a little bit lighter. I'm not trying to crack a joke there, but did he wear the leg when he was climbing it? If not, okay, he's a little bit lighter than everyone else. And that's the thing too, is this one would be kind of interesting. Like, do you want to be super light, or do you just want someone who's totally jacked out of their mind to climb up this rope? Because if you look at rock climbers, like, they have incredible strength and they can just zip around on these boulders. It's not really about, you know, how strong and big you are. It's really about like the dexterity and like, can you really like yeet yourself up there? And especially too, if it's only, you know, 50 feet, whatever, like, you know, 20 meters, whatever it may be, right? They only have to go for a short period of time. There is the rock wall racing that I know of too, and that is amazing. I don't know how that would be in relation to this, as far as like, yep, it's similar, but this one would be kind of cool to watch. I was torn too with today's episode because I was thinking about doing the Ninja Warrior and talking a little bit about that, because myself and Tristan, we had talked about the American Gladiator episode about the, you know, precursor, and that was like, you know, a stepping stone for the Ninja Warrior stuff, the American Gladiator stuff. And I believe the last obstacle in that competition is that they have to climb, I don't even know how long of a rope it is, but it would have been interesting to see the rope climbing thing, to see how that one evolved too. Would it have stayed like this, or would it have been multiple different ropes, or would it have been, you know, you just go by yourself, or are you going against, you know, 3 or 4 other nations all at one time? What is the standard here? Because I feel like there are, like, you look at figure skating, it's just, you know, 2 teams at one time going. You look at the swimming stuff, that's multiple people going at once, racing the tracks, you know, multiple people. The figure skating, ballet skating, that was only one person at a time. So I'm wondering if this competition would have been like a solo type sport where it's like, yep, you see how fast you can go, and then you sit there and watch the other person go. Or could it have been where it's like, all right, 3, 2, 1, go, and done something like that? I feel like it could have been accomplished that way, but again, you know what would have made this one? You know what would have made this one really interesting? If they would have put this one in the Winter Olympics and not the Summer Olympics. I know that doesn't make sense. Me and you both know that. But that would add an element of like, oh, you know what I'm talking about? Like if that rope was like all, you know, crusty and hard from the ice, slippery. I think we have something. I think that would be a way to get it back. You know what we should have done? Is as we were going through this list, if it's no longer a sport, what could we have done to get it back in there to make it a little bit more interesting? Do we set the rope on fire? You know, you got to beat the fire too. How are you going to get down? Do you jump? Do you slide past the fire? Do you bring your own rope to get down? You know, things like that. I'm just shooting from the hip right now. But this one, you this one I think would have been kind of fun to watch. I know it's kind of reminiscent of the log competitions that they have. I can't remember. I remember all the time growing up, like once a year, seeing the log splitting stuff where people would like run up a log or try to saw the stuff in half. It was on ESPN too. I don't know if they still have it or not. Again, that was local TV stations, and we don't have that anymore. But nevertheless, rope climbing it was, but now it is not. Next one is really cool. This is one that I wish was still around because I think this one is almost kind of like what we had just talked about. Swimming obstacle race. In the 1900s, Paris Olympic, competitors had to navigate a 200-meter course filled with obstacles. Swimmers had to swim over a pole, scramble over a row of boats, and swim under another row of boats. Australian swimmer Frederick Lane won the event, showcasing his versatility and adaptability in the race that has never been repeated. It seems like a lot of the sports in the 1900 Paris Olympics didn't come back. I wonder why that is. Like, this one would have been super interesting to watch, especially if it was something where the competitors didn't know the obstacle course. If it changed every single year, you know what I mean? To a certain extent, where it's like, you can expect to, go under or like hold your breath for anywhere from 100 to 200 meters. And I'm not saying that would be the thing, right? But if there was that, like, you as a competitor need to be ready to navigate these sort of obstacles. I think that's kind of what CrossFit does in their stuff, where it's like, you need to practice, you need to be good at everything. And when the competition comes, these are the 5 things. I don't watch or do CrossFit, but I think that is what it is, and I think that's kind of why it gets shit on all the time. Is because the standards are kind of like all over the place because there's so many different things, and it's like, how can you have like the judges? I think that's what happens is like the people who are like, oh, yep, that was a good rep. They're letting some stuff go, not stuff go. It's kind of all over the place. But I feel like if for the most part for this swimming obstacle course one, if you had it kind of like, you don't know what you're going to go into, but you expect this. You're going to have to climb out of the water for a certain period of time. You're going to have to hold your breath for a certain period of time, and you're going to have to do whatever. And it's like that every single year, but you don't know if it's going to be first. Like, you don't know if you're going to have to hold your breath first. You don't know if you're going to have to jump out of the water first, because that could play into how your endurance and how your cardio is and how you're preparing for the swimming. So that one would have been, again, I would have loved to see this one. It's very reminiscent of, again, like the Ninja Warrior stuff, what we had just talked about, like the rope climbing one. I feel like there's a lot of good ones that, would have been really fun to see. I wish we would have had some sort of film or something for this back in the day, just to see it at one time, because we're never going to see it again, right? I wonder if there's stuff written about it. I mean, there's right here, it's to navigate a 200-meter course filled with obstacles. Swimmers had to climb over a pole, scramble over a row of boats, and swim under another row of boats. So was it just those 3 things? If that's it, if that's it, I wonder if the Olympic archives, I wonder if they have the rules or enough information about this that it could be recreated to see what it would have looked like for that one competition. You know what I mean? It would have been really fun to see that. So yeah, I mean, that's my 2 cents. And okay, so let's do that again. Like, what would we have to do now to try to get that back in? I think if we were to have that standardized thing where it's like you can expect these 4 things or 5 things, whatever it is, and you have to train and be your best. I think again, I always feel like if this was a winter sport, holy cow, that would be intense, right? Not only are you trying to be physically fit enough to do all these things, but then to like jump into frigid water, that would be another thing. I think that would make it a lot more interesting to watch, and I think people would have another certain respect for it. I mean, there are those people that will like cut the holes in the ice, and follow a rope underneath the ice into like another part of the lake or whatever. It looks cold and everything like that. I'm sitting right now with a sweatshirt on, and it's 60 degrees outside, so I can't really talk. But I don't know, maybe throwing it into the Winter Olympics would make it kind of interesting. If there were, let's see here. Beyond that, I'm not really sure how else you could make this really interesting. I guess if there was some sort of way that they could, block each other too. Now, I'm not talking about like physically fighting, right? But if they could give them like a little nudge, like if one of them was getting out of the water, like how if you've ever had a sibling and you try to get out of the water, but they push your head back in and you get like super tired. Like if the guy who was in first, or if the girl was in first and then she gets out of the water, or he gets out of the water first, and then like keeps pushing the competitors' heads so they can't get out. And maybe that's an option to make it a little bit more interesting. I think it wouldn't be taken as seriously if that were the case, but a way to get it back into the Olympics, maybe. I don't think there's too many sports like that, but we're hitting about that hour mark. There's a few more on this list. What I'm gonna do for everyone listening, go ahead and take a look at that list. There's a handful more. Go ahead and take a look. They are pretty interesting. I think a few of them are still in there, but I think a few other ones have disappeared. So, but yeah, hey, I really do appreciate you stopping by, taking the time to listen to me ramble about these odd Olympic sports. I hope you enjoyed it. I found a few of them that I did not know of. I thought I knew a lot more about the Olympics than I did, but apparently I don't. So, but it is what it is, right? Again, I just want to say thank you so much for everyone who's been taking the time to listen to the podcast. Again, this has been one of the best months that we've had, and it's because of you that we keep doing this. So I really do appreciate it. Next month, since we're getting close to the end of this month, I don't think I had put it out on any of the social medias besides our Discord server, which again, if you would like to be a part of that, see what's kind of going on and everything, I do post there quite often, so you can see things that we're doing. But next month is, I was trying to think of something fun to do, right? And it's going to be military month. And the reason why is because here in the United States, again, because we have listeners all over the place, at the end of the month is Memorial Day, and that's the way to honor our military personnel. So we're going to do military month, but we're going to do it with kind of a spin, right? It's not going to be the normal topics or ones that you kind of would think about, right? It's gonna be fun. I'm going to be digging a lot into some of the stuff, but we're still going to keep with the theme of effing weird material. So you can probably expect maybe some cryptids, maybe some mysteries. Yeah. Because that's what we're all about here at That's Effin' Weird. So thank you again for taking the time to listen. Keep your eyes out for May, for all those themes. At the end of the month, we do have our live episode, which is going to be broadcasted to YouTube. So, it's going to be at the end of the month. What else can I say? What I will say, though, for that is that the end of the month is on Thursday this month. So I might push it to the 1st for Friday, just so I'm going to have some guests on. If you would like to be a guest on the show or partake in it, by all means, feel free to. We'll plan for that. I'm going to put it out there right now. May 1st, I know it's one day past, but we'll do the live episode for April on Friday. That way everyone can kind of stay up a little bit late, maybe get some people on here. But yeah, if you would like to be a part of the conversation with me, feel free to reach out. You can send us a email. I know that's really old school. You can send us a message through Instagram. You can comment on any of the episodes. You're probably going to have to comment on like this episode or one of the newer episodes, at least from season 2, just saying that you want to be a part of it. But that's how you can get a hold of us. Again, I do check the email every single day, and I check the Discord every single day. So that is the best way to get a hold of us. If you have a topic or something in mind, please, by all means, I just squeaked there. But by all means, please let us know. And then also too, just as a reminder, we do have the Buy Me a Coffee, and we have a Zazzle account. I'm posting new shirts every single month based on the theme that we had for last month. So wrapping up with April, it's going to be a weird sports t-shirt. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. You know what I mean? Like, I could do the gladiator theme. I could do the jousting theme. We got the roller derby one. I don't know if I should make it like a total like graffiti looking shirt. I don't know yet. I'm kind of torn. Not sure what I'm going to do. If you have an idea, or if you have something that you would like to see on a t-shirt, please let me know. But with all of that being said, we don't want stuff that's normal. We want stuff that's effing weird.
And that wraps up another episode of That's Effin' Weird. If you enjoyed today's conversation, make sure to follow, rate, and share the show with someone who loves the strange, the unexplained, just as much as you. You can keep up with all the things weird by following us on social media. We have Instagram, Facebook, Discord, and soon to be Patreon, where we share our clips, updates, and even more bizarre content between episodes. Got a topic you want us to cover, or a weird story of your own? Reach out to us and be a part of the conversation. We're always looking for the next strange thing to dive into. And just remember, we don't want stuff that's normal. We want stuff that's effing weird.
To the sky, leading the wings of the birds. The city smells like dust. The world is watching us now. I am the ghost in the pack. I am the name they forgot. Wait for the signal to break. Wait for the fire to start. Run through the stone streets, burning under the white sun. The rhythm of blue. I have the weight of the road. I have the heat in my shoes. Run